For Georgia Now News, I'm Jenna Eason. Georgia has a ban on people giving food and water to voters while waiting in line at their polling place. The law was challenged in court by a coalition of voting rights groups, churches, and other organizations. On Thursday, a federal judge denied a request to block the law. The reason given was the defendants listed in the case. The judge determined that the list of defendants could not enforce criminal laws or leverage criminal penalties. The list included Governor Brian Kemp, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and individual members of the Georgia State Election Board. The judge argued that only state and county prosecutors could do that job. The Election Integrity Act went into effect in Georgia in 2021. In addition to the gift ban, it included other election rules such as limits on absentee ballot drop boxes, new ID requirements for absentee ballots, and changes to early voting. Critics of the gift ban argue that offering food and water to voters standing in line represents a protected form of civic engagement, while supporters say it limits attempts to influence voters in line. Emory University will lead a research project to explore the link between Superfund sites and the health of Glynn County residents. Superfund sites refer to industrial areas that the federal government has designated as highly contaminated and requiring monitoring and ongoing cleanup. The 5-year, $15 million study is funded through the National Institutes of Environmental Health and was awarded after Emory researchers completed a pilot study in 2023 in the county, which is home to Brunswick and St. George's Island. The research will be conducted in partnership with university faculty from the University of Georgia, Georgia Institute of Technology, Morehouse School of Medicine, Spelman College, and Texas Tech University. Dana Barr is the director of the new Superfund Research Center and professor of environmental health at Emory University's Rollins School of Public Health. She told GPB News that it is important to understand whether exposure to toxic chemicals is an ongoing issue.
We can prevent further exposure, and then we can try to understand what these chemicals are doing inside their bodies to them. More than anything, I think the people in the area really want answers.
Healthy Coastal Neighborhoods and Emory researchers will hold a community meeting at 6:30 p.m. on June 24th at Howard Coffin Park to share updates about the project. The wildfires in South Georgia are finally 100% contained. The Georgia Forestry Commission announced Thursday that both the Pineland Road fire in Clinch and Eccles County and the Highway 82 fire in Brantley County are completely contained. The Brantley County fire was the most destructive fire in Georgia's history. Between the two fires, more than 100 homes were destroyed and more than 50,000 acres were burned. Officials warn residents that the wildfire season is not over yet in the state. It has been hot here in Georgia, which is to be expected moving into the summer months, but a cold front is set to come through the state, which might bring some relief as well as higher chances of rain. Georgia health officials are warning of potentially dangerous heat and humidity ahead of Atlanta's 2026 FIFA World Cup. Dr. Alex Isakov, an emergency medicine physician with Emory Healthcare, says heat and humidity can make it harder for the body to cool itself.
When it gets hot and humid outside, it makes it harder for the body to cool. And then the body doesn't function as it normally should. People can get dehydrated in the heat, and they start to have signs and symptoms of heat injury, which can be excessive fatigue, excessive sweating, excessive thirst. They might start to develop a headache, some nausea, feeling lightheaded on their feet.
Health officials are urging attendees to stay hydrated throughout the day and be aware of the signs of heat illnesses. Additional warning signs include headache, nausea, and dizziness. As the state legislature prepares for a special session to decide voting legislation, some activists argue that hand-marked paper ballots could be a solution to a looming election deadline. However, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger told GPB News that the current voting machines show more promise than hand-marked paper ballots.
The overwhelming majority of errors identified in our election review and audits have occurred with hand-marked paper ballots, where voter intent can be unclear, marks can be incomplete, and human interpretation is necessary.
Raffensperger says in the most recent primary election, more than 99.99% of ballots showed no discrepancies. Of the 2 million ballots cast, 159 showed errors, and 143 of those were hand-marked paper ballots. That's what's happening in Georgia now. For news anytime, check out our website at heargeorgianow.com. You can also download our app from the App Store or the Google Play Store. And to stay up to date on our content across all our platforms, follow us on Instagram at Hear Georgia Now and Facebook at Georgia Now. I'm Jenna Eason.